Okay, there we go, guys. Looking pretty good. Got Susie Q to be the line master here. Yeah, look at those fries. You got the Polish there.
Yeah, Polish and the dog
I've never
ducked
seen
out.
fries like that. It must be some special
They call them sidewinder fries.
sidewinder.
Love the sidewinders. Good afternoon. DJ Wonder Chrissy here for another episode of Migrant Mayhem. How you doing? It is Wednesday, February 14th. It's VD Day here, folks. I hope you've been inoculated. Just kidding. It's 42 degrees and sunny here in Chicago, and the migrant situation, the migrant mission, our border buddies, the illegals, whatever you call them. A lot of people don't like me to call them migrants. They want me to call them what they are, illegal aliens, which is fine. There's many words that we can use to describe these people and the problems that they're bringing to our society. So let's get going with the show. I got a good show for you today. We're gonna focus on the collapse of Chicago. We have an NBC New York News report on what's going on in Chicago and how a lot of these migrants are not equipped to take the move out of the shelter. And they have a specific person that they interviewed whose scheduled date for deployment out of the shelter is April 1st, right? I told you 60 days longer than normal, but still the weather's pretty nasty. We get snow flurries in first couple of days in April. That's usually when they have opening day for the Major League Baseball teams, and probably 50% of the time over the last 10 years they had to reschedule those opening day festivities due to bad weather. So weather doesn't get nice around here until the end of April, and sometimes not even till May. So it just depends. It depends on the jet stream and what's going on. So let me get that video queued up here, and it'll kind of shed some light onto what the problem is and how I really don't think it's going to be solved. So it's just going to be a problem that's going to continue to fester and grow and be something in the side of Brandon's keister as we move forward. So let me see if we got that one. Okay, we got it. And let's let it rip. Enjoy this video, and we'll see you on the other side. Oh, but wait a minute. I gotta do my breaking news, because this is breaking news, if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find that, guys. There you go. Breaking wind news. There you go. There you go. Only here will you find breaking wind news, folks. So there you go. Let's go.
in what could be their final weeks in shelters across Chicago as the city's eviction deadline looms. Like Lisbeth Velasquez, a Venezuelan migrant who says she fled due to political persecution 6 months ago and is now nearing the end of her 60-day limit in the city's shelters.
Yo no consigo una vivienda, estoy trabajando, no tengo recursos económicos para pagar una vivienda.
Velasquez says she's navigating the asylum process, but that she won't be able to obtain a work permit until well after her eviction date, a crucial step in finding a place to live.
Te piden el contrato de trabajo, te piden el estado de cuenta, te piden unos requisitos que, o sea, actualmente yo no cuento con ninguno.
The limit put in place to provide temporary housing while migrants find work in homes before making room for newcomers.
Only one property manager that has maybe one or two landlords that wants to deal with this. You know, they want them to have work permits, a job, and proof of income.
Would you say the trouble getting work permits has been the largest hurdle for people looking for more permanent housing?
Without work permits and jobs, it's really impossible for people to find places to stay. In our group, we have like...
Let me just say, too, as in other parts of the United States, Cook County, once you get somebody in a property, evicting them is pretty damn tough and will probably take a year to 2 years. So landlords need to be careful on what they do, especially with all the happened during the last couple of years, where they wouldn't allow people to evict anyone for any reason.
Like doctors, lawyers, teachers, they are really talented people, but they have no way to be certified here.
Advocates like Pastor Phelps are helping where they can, organizing English classes and clothing drives, but say it's unlikely everyone will be able to successfully transition out of shelters.
Bad news, folks. Shelters are here to stay.
Instead, needing to reapply for access to another shelter. More than 13,000 migrants are currently living in 27 shelters run by the city and the state, according to a census of new arrivals. Most of them have arrived since June 2023, part of the busing campaign by Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott, who says he sent more than 100,000 migrants to sanctuary cities. It's costing Texas taxpayers $124 million, according to a public information request by our affiliate KXAN to the state's Division of Emergency Management tasked with the initiative. Chicago's mayor has extended the limit on shelter stays, delaying enforcement due to cold weather, sending notices like this to migrants in shelters, warning the earliest notices to leave will come in mid-March. The disruption in housing will cause further disruption with migrants' legal journey applying for asylum. What's at stake if these migrants end up homeless again?
First of all, just sending people back into crisis. If someone doesn't have an address where they can receive their court notices, they risk failing to comply with the requirements placed upon them by the government.
Another element adding to their stress.
Es preocupante porque eso van a inundar los distritos policiales en las calles. Creo que no es la solución.
All right, Maura joins us now live from Chicago. So, Maura, if this holds up in the work permits, how long does that take, and how many migrants have been able to obtain them?
Well, Tom, reports show that just about 1,000 migrants have been able to get those work permits, and state officials actually estimate that only 30% of those shelter residents will even qualify for the authorization or temporary protected status, which opens up the availability for work eligibility. Now, this is a problem in terms of just the access, but also the timeline used to take months, and now they've reduced that to about 30 days, which is helpful. But at the end of the day, the reality is this leaves open 10,000 migrants with questions over how they're going to get jobs or secure permanent housing. Tom?
Thanks for watching.
So there you go. Reality's setting in Chicago. Let's also talk about another reason why Chicago is going to collapse. The House of Cards is going to collapse. It's a thing called the shot spotter that the Chicago police have been using for years, and Brandon Johnson campaigned with getting rid of it. For those of you who are not familiar with it, it's kind of like a big microphone that they put out in the neighborhoods along with the camera, and it's changed policing in Chicago, really has. But part of the reason, though, it's going to be hard to get away from it because the way that the police use it is when they hear a gunshot or a pew-pew go off, they respond and check things out. And now that they've had, during the Lori Lightfoot administration, they had further handcuffs put on the police on how they could police. So you don't see the police doing street beats anymore in the city of Chicago, certainly not in the bad areas of town. It's kind of what they call on-demand policing. You may see a cop drive by a certain area, but for the most part, they're not going to show up unless they're called by a civilian or they've got something that they're checking out. And Shot Spotter is one of those things that tells them to go check something out and where they should be checking. So there are plans to get rid of that, and surprise, surprise, they'll get rid of it right after the convention is finished in town. So let's listen to this, and we'll talk more about it on the other side of the breaking news. Let's see, we got my breaking news here. Yep, breaking news only here, folks, only here. All right, we're bringing you the breaking news. Here we go.
Pulling the plug on ShotSpotter. It's the controversial technology that is supposed to alert police to gunfire.
Nate Rogers reports that decision may be almost as controversial as the program itself.
Even on the campaign trail, Mayor Brendan Johnson said that he would remove ShotSpotter from the city's budget. Critics say that the service is unreliable and leads to unconstitutional policing. Others, including police officers, say that it's a reliable resource, especially in underserved communities where the code of silence still maintains.
35 cities have already said this technology is unreliable.
In September, right after the DNC in Chicago, ShotSpotter will end. The technology alerts police in real time to locations where gunshots were fired.
I feel it's very disrespectful of the mayor to make a decision like this without even getting the input of the community.
In place since 2018, ShotSpotter costs Chicagoans about $8 million annually. City council members speaking in Inglewood today outraged by the mayor's decision not to renew the contract, saying with the department down more than 2,000 officers, many residents are not calling police.
We're here to tell the mayor that he's wrong, that he needs to change his decision and listen to the community.
Black and brown communities hear gunshots all the time. There are some communities are immune to it. So therefore, sometimes people just don't call the police. ShotSpotter saves lives. Why? Because the police will still respond to that call.
On the other side, several cities have rejected ShotSpotter because of inaccuracies and red flags.
What the Inspector General's report found is that the police enter every single situation with a ShotSpotter report, guns blazing, because they think that there's shots being fired in that moment. And in the case of Adam Toledo, what occurred is it led to that little boy, that 13-year-old boy.
The little boy that was out at 3 in the morning with some older gang member also, and who was running around with a pew-pew.
Being shot and killed.
In a statement, the mayor's office saying in part, quote, law enforcement and community safety stakeholders will assess tools and programs that effectively increase both safety and trust and issue recommendations to that effect. Former top cop Gary McCarthy also not a fan of the decision.
Here's reality. I mean, this is a former superintendent of police of Chicago. I'll give you the straight news.
I think it's a bad decision as far as catching bad guys and preventing somebody else from getting shot.
Now, we must add, in the case of Adam Toledo, a gun was found in his possession. Also, the police board ordered an officer involved to be disciplined. And now the last day for ShotSpotter is September 22nd. Until then, aldermen in Inglewood today telling us that they will work to win majority city council support to overturn the mayor's plans. That is the latest here outside Chicago Police Headquarters. I'm Nate Rogers, Fox 32 Chicago.
So there you have that. So, yeah, another reason why the black and brown communities will just spiral into unprecedented crime when they get rid of this, because there's just going to be no policing whatsoever unless they go back to street beats and exposing the police to undue harm in the city, in the streets of some of these neighborhoods. There's some police that just don't even want to drive through these neighborhoods on a good day, let alone a bad day. So more to come, and I thought that Brandon was put into office by the minorities, yet he seems to be destroying everything about their lives. Something for you to think about. Chicago is a cesspool, folks. I'm here to tell you that. There's loads and loads of proof that Chicago is a cesspool. And it's just not Brandon Johnson that created that cesspool. There's also Lori Lightfoot to blame, because she, during her administration, she probably put in 2 to 3 different ordinances or laws or what have you, or restrictions on the police that made it tougher for the police to do their job. I haven't seen any numbers lately, but the city of Chicago police count is down. I don't know how many. They're always in need of police, but they can't hire enough. And I'm not sure they have the money to hire any, but they're way, way down. There's been a huge amount of the police that are retiring and moving to places where they respect the police and they're able to do their job. So that's been happening here, like a lot of the other blue cities in the United States. But let me play this last video for you about Lou Malnati's. This is Deep Dish Pizza in Chicago, folks. I wanted to give you a look at Lou Malnati's, and all month they're doing heart-shaped pizza. So let's play this this segment for you.
We all do, but there is one guy who is committed to putting that love on paper. Anthony, where is your tuxedo t-shirt?
You know, I left it at home. This was thrown together kind of last minute, Natalie. But this Valentine's Day, this has become a tradition over the last couple of decades here at Lou Malnati's. We're at the Gold Coast location, where the heart-shaped pizzas, they're being made by the dozen. This has become so popular, and it's really cool. They're available all month for any occasion, not just Valentine's Day, but for weddings, for anniversaries. They even say that they can cut one in half and break the heart if you're having a divorce party. And all month, $1 of every purchase is going to go to Feeding America local food banks. So it's all for a great cause. As I was saying last hour, this is a childhood love of mine. So the fact that I'm here on Valentine's Day, everyone's like, Anthony, you know, if you love it so much, why don't you marry it? Well, today, I'm going to do it. And our own Craig Bashore has been ordained over the last hour. He has agreed to officiate the ceremony today. So I'm going to hand the mic over to him, and we're going to do this after all these years. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. Do you, Anthony, take Lou Malnati's heart-shaped pizza to be your lawfully wedded food wife? I do. And do you, heart-shaped pizza, take Anthony to be your lawfully wedded husband? She said I do. I now pronounce you husband and food wife. You may kiss the bride. Bridesmaids, only the bride wore white, though. You can see.
I'm worried about Anthony's mental
I want to see what the honeymoon is going to look like, right?
Awesome pizza, folks. Nothing better than Chicago. When you come to Chicago, you can even have one shipped to you, but it's not the same. Not the same. Got to come to Chicago and try some Lou Malnati's pizza, folks.
All right, Lou Malnati's, pick up those heart-shaped pizzas, available all month, and as Anthony said, $1 of each purchase through February goes to Feeding America. A great
Hopefully
cause.
Anthony got his wife a real Valentine's Day present for
I would think so.
Speak.
So there you have it. There you have it. Where are we at? We're at the end of the show. Breaking news. Only here, guys. I'm telling you, this is the only place you're going to get breaking news. There you go. Like, share, and subscribe. DJ Wonder Chrissy here for you to talk about migrant mayhem at Land Cruiser Midwest. Subscribe, folks. We definitely want you to subscribe to the channel. We love bringing this news to you every day. Breaking news alerts. Over and out. Oh, man. DJ Wonder Chrissy, and God bless.